Hey guys, still kind of stoked from the latest Conjuring movie, so I decided to do a ranking of all 10. Some people say that there's 9. They say La Llorona doesn't count. I would technically agree, but the priest from Annabelle is in La Llorona, so it's part of the same universe objectively. Oh yeah, a ranking of all the Conjuring Phase 1 movies. At number 10, the worst in the franchise, in my opinion, The Curse of La Llorona. I am of the opinion, perhaps some people don't want this to be part of the Conjuring universe. Man, is that movie boring. Good lord, I had trouble getting through it. Like, honest to godly, I watched it once and I was like spacing out through half of it. And then I attempted to watch it a second time. It is dirt ass boring and I can't stand it. It's that's the cardinal sin for me with movies, okay? If you're a crappy movie, but you're at least entertaining, I could still recommend you, okay? But I cannot recommend a movie that puts me to frickin' sleep. Coming in at number 9 is the original The Nun. I said this in a previous video about The Nun, that the first half hour or so is actually a pretty good setup to what could have been a scary movie, and then it just deteriorates into this completely formulaic, like, just scare after scare after scare to the point where you could like almost do a countdown in your head. That was what really annoyed me, but I have since, upon further reflection and going back and watching some older movies, I have another beef with The Nun, okay? And that beef is it shamelessly rips off the ending of Tales from the Crypt Demon Knight. I guess they figured, oh, maybe that movie's kind of underground and not as many people are going to know about it. That just goes to show how much they know about horror fans. Literally the exact occurrence, a little vial with the blood of Jesus Christ. They take it into their mouth. The demon in question doesn't realize, and then they spit it in their face and destroy the demon. I mean, literally shameless ripoff. Number 8 is the original Annabelle. It's not like an all bad movie, like it's kind of generic. It has its good creepy moments for sure. My biggest thing with it was I think that it really wimped out on the ending. I think that they should have gone full dark for the ending, and I felt that it was the ending was what was going to make or break that movie because everything else was just so generic. Upon watching Annabelle Creation, I do have to say that you can like watch that and then watch Annabelle right after and actually be quite enthusiastic about doing so. But as a standalone movie in its own right, Number 7, The Conjuring 3, The Devil Made Me Do It. As I mentioned in the previous video, there's something about that movie, I can't quite put my finger on it, but it just doesn't retain my interest. It's not full-blown boring. It can drag in certain parts. There is a lot of it that's kind of a procedural, but just atmospherically, and there's something about that movie that I just don't vibe with. It's okay, but as far as the Conjuring films go, it's my least favorite of that particular franchise. Coming in at number 6 is The Nun 2. I was extremely surprised by this film. Now, don't get me wrong. It's not a masterpiece. It's a dumb, kind of schlocky horror film, but I like it. I like the big goat monster. It had a better pacing than the original one. It wasn't just the same formulaic jump after jump after jump that the first one was. And also, I felt a little bit more like I'd gotten to know the characters in The Nun 2. So just as a good kind of brainless, like, it's not a masterpiece, but you just check your brain at the door and enjoy the ride, The Nun 2 is actually pretty entertaining. Number 5 is Annabelle Comes Home. And that is actually the point in this list where I would say the movies transcend into I full-blown liked them. Like, Annabelle Comes Home, and I feel that it got kind of shit on a lot. And it's not like a serious movie in the way that The Conjuring is or anything like that. It is more CG, I guess you could say. There are more like kind of jump scares, and there's a lot like more towards the latter half of the film. But I love that. This movie is kind of like the unofficial, third Conjuring movie. Like, it really is, because it has Ed and Lorraine Warren in it, and it's literally at their house when they're not there, and Annabelle just awakens all the crazy shit that lives in their house. It's like Poltergeist at the Warrens' house. I have a lot of fun with this movie. It's not like, you know, again, it's not like on the level of The Conjuring, but I never in a million years expected it to be. And like I said, I feel that this one wasn't terribly well received by many people. So maybe give it another watch. You might enjoy it upon second viewing, or at least be less offended on whatever bothered you about it. Coming in at number 4 is The Conjuring Last Rites. Okay, and like I said, of all the what's his name, Michael Chavez films in this franchise, this is by far the best. It has some pacing issues. There is some stuff in the lore that I kind of wish they'd gone a little bit deeper into that they didn't. However, it does seem to be a send-off, and a good send-off for the Warrens. This is why I'm a little about phase 2. I'm like, what's this gonna entail? Because it really is a good goodbye. And there's a lot of stuff in it. There's a lot of like Easter eggs that feel maybe a little bit like kind of winky, but the director was clearly trying to, you know, pay homage to the film, and this was to the original film, and this was supposed to be for the fans. You know, I really liked it. It was definitely better than the third one. It actually got me at one part. I didn't full blown jump, but it did genuinely startle me, and I was like, oh, okay, good. Yeah, so it's not the best way the franchise could have ended, but it's far from the worst. Far from the worst. Coming in at number 3 is The Conjuring 2, and our little introduction to Valak the Nun, Valak the Defiler. Yeah, I thought that this was a proper follow-up to the first film. It's not as good, but it has that James Wan little kind of charm about it. You know, it has some really good jump scares. It's kind of eerie just overall, the way certain things are shot and edited, and things change, or you might perceive them as changing, but you're not sure. It's just like masterfully done, masterfully directed. It's just, you know, it's kind of like the first Conjuring is like lightning in a bottle. You know, you can only capture it really once. But this was as proper a sequel as, this is what Fright Night Part 2 was to Fright Night 1, okay? It was obviously not as good, but it was a great follow-up. Coming in at number 2, Annabelle Creation. This is the most surprising movie on this list, bar none. It is, next to the first Conjuring, in my opinion, the scariest in the franchise. It was, and again, it kind of enhances the first Annabelle. It actually makes you want to go back and watch the first Annabelle, because it really does perfectly leave off for it. And it does make the story that much more creepy because it's so much darker. But yeah, this film was masterfully directed, and it was, I mean, James Wan level of scares in that film. It really creeped me out in certain points. And like I said, you know, for a sequel to a movie that wasn't so hot, it's actually it was a pretty pleasant surprise. And of course, number 1, of course, is the OG, The Conjuring. I remember going to see that with my parents back in 2013. And I mean, I'll be damned, like every Halloween season we watch it again. It's a new classic, man. You know, Patrick Wilson and Vera Farmiga as Ed and Lorraine Warren. They give a lot more, they're a very generous portrayal of Ed and Lorraine Warren. The real Ed and Lorraine Warren were, you know, they were showmen. They were, I don't think they were even serious about half of the shit that they did. They were just like, you're gonna come in, have a good time, look at all this bullshit that we made up, have fun. But yeah, like the two of them just nailed it, and they were just very likable. And the film was very effectively creepy. You know, James Wan knows how to set up a jump scare, but it's not even just the jump scares. He knows how to establish dread, you know, and he knows how to do it without the movie being a total downer either. He has like lighter moments. He has characters that, again, you really kind of connect to. The Conjuring is just a modern masterpiece. I mean, like, even if literally every other film on this list sucked, I'm still happy this franchise exists just because we got that one movie. So anyway, guys, what is your list? Please comment below and let me know. You can include La Llorona if you want, or whatever, doesn't matter. But let me know what you think. And if you like this video, consider subscribing. I appreciate you watching. And that's all she wrote.